Okay, this is about the midway through the unit review. So, you have two equations, x plus 4y equals 9, x equals y plus 4. X plus 4y equals 9, x equals y plus 4. I don't like the way these are written here, so you make a coordinate where you're solving for x and y. Now circle your equals. Do you have a letter that's all by itself? It can be x or y, it doesn't have to be y. Yeah, you do right there. You put a box around that, that's known as your base, and you circle the other side. So you apply the substitution method if you have a base by itself. So you write the other equation, x plus 4y equals 9. Apply a 1 in front of the x. You need coefficient multipliers in front of both x and y. Now x is your base, okay? You see it's your base, so you put a parentheses around your x, okay? Whatever letter the base is, which in this case is x, parentheses around the x. Now you scribble out the x and you replace it with the expression y plus 4, because that's what x equals, so we take the x out and put in y plus 4. You apply a 1 there. So you got 1, then you make a parentheses and you put the expression 1y plus 4 inside. Now after the parentheses has been closed, you see what I'm tracing over here? You write plus 4y equals 9 from that. Okay, now we're going to solve for y. We apply the distributive property, 1 times 1y, 1 times 4. So it's going to be 1y, and that's 4. So you got 9, you drop your plus, you got 1y and 4. And that's done, but we got to remember to plus the 4y in there. So now we have 1y plus 4y equals 9. So, draw a V connection to your y's. You don't minus, minus, plus, plus if they're on the same side. You add those together. What's 1y plus 4y? It'd be 5y plus the 4 equals the 9. See, the variables are on the same side, so you just combine them. So now you got times 5 and plus 4, so you minus 4, 9 minus 4 is 5. And you divide each side by 5, and y is equal to 1. That's y you just found, so 1 goes for y. Now to solve for the x, go into your base and just put a 1 where the y was at. So read it now, x equals 1 plus 4. Well, 1 plus 4 is 5, okay? So x equals 5. Okay. Okay, example 2, 8x minus 7y equals negative 3, and then we have 6x minus 5y equals negative 1. Okay, if you're on virtual, you write both those two equations, stack them on top just like I have. Now, you are solving for x and y. So you circle your equals. Now you don't have a base. You don't have that letter by itself in either equation. So what you do then is apply the elimination method. To apply elimination, you line up your x's and y's into columns, okay? And you need the x's or the y's to be the same. Neither one of them are the same, so I need to multiply, okay? By the way, that's a negative 7 and a negative 5. That's a negative 3 and a negative 1. If you don't know that, just put it plus negative. Okay, so look at this. So we got 6 on bottom, so I multiply 6 on top. I have 8 on top, I multiply 8 on bottom. So I times the rest of this by 6 and the rest of this by 8. So now I write a new system here. So I take 6 times 8, that's 48x. Then I take 6 times negative 7y, that's negative 42y, equals. Then I take 6 times negative 3, and that's negative 18. 6 times 8 is 48x. Negative 5 times 8 is negative 40y. And then negative 1 times 8 is negative 8. Now, rearrange the columns, but you don't just cross out the x's right now. Yeah, they're the same now, but you have to have a positive and a negative. Right now, they're both positive. They can't both be positive. They can't both be negative. So, you can make that 48 negative as long as you make these other two into their opposites, okay? So I made the 48 negative, so I would have a positive and a negative. Okay, so what's the opposite of negative 40y? Well, that'd be positive 40y. What's the opposite of negative 8? That'd be positive 8. Now you add, okay? Because 48 plus negative 48 is 0x. Okay, so x is eliminated. That's why it's called elimination. Then we take negative 42 plus 40, both negative and a positive, so we add them. That's negative 2y. And then we take negative 18 and add positive 8. It's going to be negative 10. Now you can solve, okay? So you got times, so you just divide by negative 2. Negative 10 divided by negative 2 is 5. Y equals 5. So you got your answer for y. Now, you don't have a base like you did here. So when we don't have a base identified, to find the second letter, you take your first equation. Just copy it. 8x plus negative 7y equals negative 3. Now, 5 replaces the y, because that's your answer. Now you have negative 7 times 5, so you times those first. Negative 7 times 5 is negative 35. So our new equation now says that 8x plus negative 35 is equal to negative 3. So you got times and plus. So you take out your negative 35 by adding 35, because a plus negative is like a minus. So negative 3 plus 35 is 32. Then you divide each side by 8, and 32 divided by 8 is 4. So 4 and 5. Okay, now the back page is blank. Now we'll go into story problems. Number 3. At a play, $2,995 was collected from tickets. Student tickets cost $3 each, while adult tickets cost $5 each. There were 79 more adult tickets than student tickets. By the way, more means plus. How many of each type of ticket were sold? By the way, I forgot the labels on this one, okay? I'm sorry. Adult tickets and student tickets. Don't put a dollar sign. You're not finding the cost. You're finding how many there were of each. So you got 3 units, the student tickets, the adult tickets, and the dollars. You see them there in bold, so that's 3 units. So you have together. Then, how many units per unit and total? Because student tickets and adult tickets. Okay, that says together. Now, dollars over total, dollars above per unit. Now, what's your money total together? Money total together is $2,995. So one equation's going to be there. Now, forget about it. Now, find me a number that's not money related. 3 and 5 are money related. 79 more, okay? More than means plus 79. Now, a couple things that mean a more than. You don't need y, okay? I shouldn't see y in this table. It also means you're only going to have one equation, so that one on the bottom is the only equation you're going to have. So, you put plus 79, x plus 79, because you don't know what it is, okay? But you got to put it for adults, because it says there's more adult tickets. So the adult tickets is X plus 79, and the student tickets is X. Now we can't fill that in because we don't know what these are, so just leave it empty. Now the cost per unit. Now the students cost $3, the adults cost $5. Now you multiply these. You take X times 3, and in the other column you put a parentheses around the plus, and you take parentheses X plus 79 times 5. So X times 3 is 3X. Now over here you have to use your rainbows. 5 times 79 and 5 times 1X. So 5 times 1X is 5X, and then I take 5 times 79, that's 395. Okay, so down here we got 3X, and then here we got 5X plus 395. Now I said there was only going to be one equation, there it is, okay? So you have 3X plus 5X plus 395 equals 2,995. Now the X's are on the same side, so you apply your V. That means just add them. 3 plus 5 is 8X. Plus 395 equals 2,995. Now you can solve for X. Got times and plus, so you subtract the 395. This minus this is 2,600, and then over here we got 8 times X. Now divide each side by 8, and you have your X. Now you're like, oh, that's just one answer. No, it's actually not, okay? So X is 325. Now go up into your table, what we don't know, right here, scribble out your X's, and put 325. 325. So the student tickets, it was 325. The adult tickets, I take 325 plus 79, and that's 404. So that's how many adult tickets there are. Now I suppose if you want to add these, you can, but it's not really necessary. Okay. Next. A library is having a book sale to raise money. Hardcover books cost $4 each, and paperback books cost $2 each. A person spends $26 for 8 books. How many hardcover books, how many paperback books were purchased separately? So, put those, I forgot to write them. Paperbacks, hardcover. Don't put dollar signs. We know what they cost. We're trying to find out how many of them. So, get the chart set up. So, because you got 3 units, the hardcover, the paperbacks, and one of those dollar signs is in bold. It's right there. Okay, you just got to see it. So, together, how many units per unit and total? Okay, so hardcover and paperback. HP, then the money and the money per unit. How many is not money? Okay, so the money total is $26. Okay. Find me a non-money number. It's 8, but this time it says 8 books. It doesn't say 8 more. Okay. Well, it doesn't say more than, and it doesn't say hardcover or paperback. So 8's how many together? So if I have together, then the H and the P are 2 separate variables, X and Y. Now you have to use X and Y when you have the together, but you don't have the separate. So that's the first equation. Now, cost per unit. 4 is the hardcover, and 2 is the paperback. Okay. Now, since I have a number here and here, I don't need this. Okay. So I take X times 4. And then Y times 2. I don't need to insert parentheses because I don't have any. I know that's 4X. I know that's 2Y. So it's 4X and 2Y. Now, since you have X and Y and 2 equations, you want to make a cross and stack them. So x plus y equals 8. Then 4x plus 2y equals 26. Okay, you do not have a letter by itself. You need to apply the elimination method to solve. Okay, so you make 1, 1, put your columns. You don't have the same thing anywhere, so 1 and 4, let's times this by 4 and this by 1. So I times the rest of this by 4, I times the rest of this by 1. So 4 times 1x is 4x, 4 times 1y is 4y, 4 times 8 is 32. Now on the bottom, 4x times 1 is 4x, 2y times 1 is 2y, 26 times 1 is 26. Now you don't just slash out the 4x's, okay? Remember, for it to slash it out, you have to add it to 0, okay? 4 and 4 doesn't add to 0, but if I make it negative, it will. Well, I can do that as long as I make the rest of this equation into the opposite. So what's the opposite of 2y? Negative 2y. What's the opposite of 26? Negative 26, okay? Now you add, that's 0x, so that eliminates x. 4 plus negative 2 is 2y. 32 plus negative 26. By the way, I don't want to see you just doing this. 32 plus 26. Dude, it's 32 plus negative 26, and that's 6. Because if you're adding a negative, it takes it down. So 2 times y equals 26. So you divide by 2, and y equals 3. Now go into your table, cross out the y, and put 3. So the paperback books have 3. So if we know that this is 8 and this is 3, I mean, you could put 3 into the equation, but you could also use some common sense and say 8 minus 3, what plus 3 is 8? Well, I could take 8 minus 3 and it's 5, okay? So 5 would be your hardcover. X would equal 5. Okay, last problem. You buy $24, you pay, it should say, $24.50 for 10 gallons of gas and 1 quart of oil at a gas station. Your friend pays $22 for 8 gallons of the same gas and 2 quarts of the same oil. How much does a single gallon of gas cost? How much does a single quart of oil cost? So just put gas and oil. I didn't put that there. Okay, dollars is what we're figuring out this time, so they're dollars. So you got the quarts of oil, the gallons of gas, and then the dollars you pay. That's in bold, so that's 3 units. Say, so together, how many units per unit and total? Okay, now the 2 things we're buying is the gas and the oil. Gallons of gas and quarts of oil. Just put gas and oil. So dollars, dollars. Money total, there's 2. You have $24.50 and you got $22. So equals 24.50 and 22. Now, how many units? So the gas, and 10 gallons of gas, 1 quart of oil, you put those straight across from each other, and that makes 11 together. Now, 8 and 2, so 8 of gas, 2 of oil. So together that's 10. We're not really going to use the 11 and 10, but that's fine. Well, that's all I have. As far as the cost per unit, I don't know anything about that. So I let this be represented with X, double X, so it can go at the 10 and the 8. And this would be with a different variable, Y. So I need to take 10 times X, and then I need to take 8 times X. I take 1 times Y, and then I need to take 2 times Y. So it's 10X and 8X. That's 1y, and that's 2y. So there's the two equations. Now we have two different letters, so set up your cross and stack the two equations. They're already pretty much stacked. We just got to carry them down. 10x plus 1y equals 24.50. Then on bottom we have 8x plus 2y equals 22. So I need to apply the elimination method. Okay, we don't have the same term anywhere, so I would times this by 8 and this by 10. Then I times the rest of this by 8 and the rest of this by 10. 8 times 10x is 80x. 8 times 1y is 8y. And then 8 times 24.50 is 196, no decimal. Now the bottom, you're going to get 80x again, and then 20y, and then 22 times 10 is 220. Now, you have the same thing, but you don't cross them out until you have a positive and a negative. We have them both positive. Well, I'll make that negative, but that means I have to make the 20y into the opposite, a negative, the 220 into an opposite, a negative. Now you can add, okay? So that's 0, 80 plus negative 80 is 0x. 8 plus negative 20 is negative 12y. And then I take 196 plus negative 220, and that's negative 24. So we divide each side by negative 12, and that's 2. Y equals 2. So go to your Y, cross them out, and put 2. So the oil costs $2 every time I buy a quart of it. Now, you don't have a number you can just minus from because we don't have a together amount here. So what we need to do is do what we do in a normal elimination problem. Write out your first equation. And put 2 in for y. So now I figure out the product of 1 times 2. That's 2. Okay? So we have 10x plus 2 equals 24.50. Now, times and plus, so you would minus 2, that's 22.50. Now you divide each side by your 10, and that's your answer for x. 22.50 divided by 10 is 2.25. So that is how much the gas costs per gallon. Okay. And we're there. You don't need to put them in here. Okay, you just find out